Okay, this video is about what we call parametrics. Okay, so parametric means third variable, which is t, just said that. Parametric equation means there's x and y equations, x is equal to something, y is equal to something, and it's given in terms of t. Okay, it makes more sense when you see some examples. For instance, number 1 here, x is equal to 2 times whatever t is, y is 2t plus 5. Okay, so in order to make this what we understand in terms of y and x, you're going to see this direction quite a bit, is to rewrite this as a rectangular equation. Rectangular just means it's not going to have the t in it, okay? The t is not going to be part of the equation anymore. So what you have to do is you have to solve for t, all right? So watch this. Let's take x and let's solve it for t. If I want to solve for t, I would just divide by 2. So t is equal to x over 2, right? Well then, I'm going to plug this value into what they tell me y is. Instead of t, I'm going to put in x over 2 plus 5. And that puts it in an equation now that has x's and y's but no t's. So that's all I have to do to solve it for a rectangular equation. Find what t is, substitute it in the y equation. That's it. Okay, so now you have to solve for rectangular coordinates, sketch a graph, and rewrite it as a rectangular equation. Okay, so baby steps here. All right, so let's sketch our graph first. All right, so we need to solve for some values for x and y. So for t, I'm going to just use values -2, 1, 0, 1, and 2. And you can use those standard t values for any equation. And we're going to generate some x and y coordinates. So first let's do x, okay? Plugging into the x equation. -2 squared is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Put in a 1. -1 squared is 1. Minus 4 is -3. 0. 0 squared is 0. Minus 1 is -4. 1. 1 squared is 1. Minus 4 is -3. 2 squared is 4. Minus 4 is 0. Ah, now we have x equations. Now let's find, x coordinates, I'm sorry. Now let's find the y coordinates. Plug in a -2. If I put a -2 over 2, that's -1. -1, that's going to be -1/2. 0, put it in there, that's 0. +1/2, and 2 over 2 is a +1. Alright, so now I just focus on the x and y coordinates. That's what I can graph on my normal grid. So I'm just going to look at these. You can disregard this t column now. So where x is 0, let's see, our y values go from -1/2, -1, +1/2, +1. And x's go -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. Alright, so I built my graph. Now let's plot the points. Where x is 0, y is -1. Where x is -3, y is -1/2. Where x is -4, y is 0. Where x is -3, y is +1/2. Where x is 0, y is 1. Alright, so what you have here is not a function. Now this is like a sideways equation. Okay, this is parametric motion. It's going to look like that. So this is how you would graph a parametric equation. That's the first part. Then you rewrite it as a rectangular equation. We just did this, guys. We just did this. So solve this first one here for t. So to solve it for t, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Then I have to take the square root. So t is equal to plus or minus, remember, square root of x over 4, x plus 4. Now I take this t value and I plug it in for y. So y is going to equal, I plug it in for t. Y is equal to plus or minus the square root of x plus 4 over 2. Alright? And that's my rectangular equation, regular old equation. Okay? 2 steps. You got to graph and then rewrite the equation. Let's try another one. Okay? Solve for rectangular coordinates, sketch a graph, and rewrite it as a rectangular equation. Same stuff. So let's use our same values for t. You could use any values, but I'm just using these standard values so we're all on the same page. So for x, well, x is just whatever t is, right? So I'm just going to copy that column because they're equal. Y is -2 times t. So -2 times -2 is a +4. -2 times -1 is a +3. 0, -2, -4. All right, so look at my x coordinates. They go from -1, negative. Y coordinates go from -4, -2, 4, and 3. Okay, now I'm going to plot my points. At -2, y is 4. -1, y is 3. 0, 0. At 1, y is -2. At 2, y is -4. Okay, so we're not seeing the full curve, but you are definitely seeing part of it here. Okay, so that's what the graph would look like. Now I solve it for a rectangular equation. I mean, I substitute something in for t to get rid of the t. Well, this is easy. I have to solve this for t, but it's already solved. X equals t. So instead of at t, I can just put in an x. So y equals -2x. And I'm done. And it should, look, that's a line, right? That's a linear line. It should work just fine. Okay, for class, I want you to try this one on your own. Generate your table, solve the equation for a rectangular equation. All right, try it, and we'll see how you do.